Hello, welcome to Relationship Matters with Dr. Ufoma Nwachukwu. Last week we started a new series on building trust in relationships. Have you watched the first video? If you haven't watched that video, check the description of this video. You will get the link to that introductory part of building trust in relationships, where we define trust. We said trust is the glue of life, the essential ingredient in effective communication, according to Steve Covey. We talked about the components of trust, including reliability, honesty, and emotional security. We also emphasize that trust is not automatic, it is built through consistent relationships. Today, we shall be looking at how to build trust in relationships. So, as important as trust is, how do I begin to build it in my relationship to ensure that I have a healthy relationship? Before we move over to the 5 major ways to build trust, I would like to talk about foundationally. I'd like us to understand that trust is built within a child's first 18 months of life. So do you know that within that age, you are able to build trust in your child, and that could help either trust or distrust or mistrust in a child. So a child at that stage of life is vulnerable, is dependent on the caregivers, and feels that this person should attend to me. I should be able to depend on this person for support. If I am hungry, I depend on this person. But if the caregivers neglect that child at that moment, there's no emotional support, there is no presence of the parents, or a situation, one of those things that usually happen when we were growing up. So the mother wants to go out and the baby is crying, I want to follow you, I want to follow you. And the mother says, okay, no problem. Go inside and get your slippers. So the child trusts the mother and say, okay, mommy has agreed for me to follow her. Let me just quickly go and get my slippers. But before the child comes back, mommy has disappeared. Do you know, dear parents, that you are building lack of trust, mistrust in that child? That child, as you consistently do those things, or the child is crying uncontrollably and then you are not even showing any concern, the child feels at least my mother should come close to find out why I am crying. But the mother feels that's how he cries, that's how she cries, and you leave the child. Cry the bucket, let the bucket be full. And that child is gradually, you are sowing into that child a seed of mistrust, and makes the child to feel nobody can be trusted. That's why even now you see people that are grown and just feels, let me day my day. You cannot trust anybody in this life. There are things that must have happened. So that kind of person will need to go through healing and a lot of things, and now start learning how to build trust. So if you are listening to me, you are a young person, you are married, you have toddlers, please know that trust is built within a child's first 18 months of life. Now, there are also things you can do as an adult to build trust in healthy relationships. And the first one we shall be looking at is honesty. The Bible says, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Let people just know you. We already said through consistent actions, trust is built. So let people just know you, that this person, when he says, I bought this thing for 5 naira, it is actually 5 naira. So by the time in a relationship, you come and tell me, I bought that thing for 4 naira, and then the person later discovers that it was actually 1 naira, you're already sowing the seeds of lack of trust in that person. And then it happens again, it happens again. By the time it happens twice or thrice, the person just concludes, this person cannot be trusted. So if you want to build trust in relationship, be honest, be truthful. If it is 1 naira 99 kobo, just say that is how it is. Even if you are saying, I'm not going to return the balance, I'm keeping the balance, but let us know exactly how you bought it. Or if I say I'm going to be with you and so time, let the person be so sure that you are going to be there at that time. The second point on how to build trust in relationship is effective communication. How clear are you? Do you communicate in such a way you leave room for doubts? Okay, so in a relationship, if you are able to communicate clearly, you will not leave room for suspicion. Okay, so for instance, you are in a relationship or you are married and you are earning money, you are working, and you don't disclose to your partner how much you earn. If your partner does not know, okay, so how do you expect that person to trust you and believe when you say you do not have money for so and so? But if you are able to communicate and say, okay, this is how much I earn and this is how much we should spend this money, there is openness, there's communication, it is clear. So there is no room left for suspicion. Another example could be, I've always said, like, we also know that communication is a major issue that can bring problems or conflicts in marriage. So if couples are not communicating effectively, so they stay together yet they are not involved in each other's life, you are not carrying your partner along in your day-to-day activities. Sometimes, for instance, my husband will just call and say, where are you? And I will say, I'm at so and so point at that time. Do you understand? So there's no room for mistrust or distrust. Do you get? So, but a situation where you didn't let the person know where you would be, so you are leaving the home, you didn't let the person know that, okay, today I'm going to be going to so and so place that is kind of far from your regular location where you spend your day, okay, around your office. Or even if it is something that came up as an emergency and you were requested by your boss, or something just came up, you need to go to a place, okay? If you are communicating effectively with your partner, you could just put maybe a short call or send an SMS. Something just came up, or I'm having to go, for instance, from Enugu city where I stay to Nsukka. That was about 45 minutes. Or you are in Delta, you are talking about going from Ugeli to Warri. So that if somebody comes to tell him tomorrow that I saw your wife in Warri yesterday, he will not be surprised. But the situation, you didn't carry him along. It was even an emergency, something came up. When you returned home, you didn't also communicate that, guess what happened today? I had to go to so and so place. By the time an issue comes up tomorrow and somebody is saying, I saw your wife somewhere, and maybe adds that she was she was in another man's car, you are beginning to give opportunity for you to be doubted. You are giving opportunity for him to be suspicious of you. But if you told him ahead and communicated effectively, then okay, there's this story I've told before in one of my sessions like this, where a husband, a lady got pregnant, had a baby, traveled out of the country, met another person that was to marry her, and the person came to Nigeria to marry the person. And when they went to church, somebody just called the man aside and said, are you aware this lady already has a baby? And he said, yes, I'm aware. So there was no room for further, okay, she has opened up to me in this area. So effective communication builds trust in a relationship. The next one we shall be talking now about is consistency in your actions. Building line upon line, precept upon precept. As you do little things consistently, the person is able to build trust in you. So it could be from little things as, I'll buy this thing for you on your next birthday, or I'll be with you at so and so point in time, I will help you with so and so chores. So big things, promises and commitments, like I will spend the rest of my life with you, I'll be committed to you, I'll be with you in your down moments and in your moments of joy. So when you are consistent in keeping to these little promises every day, you are able to build trust. The fourth one I shall be talking about is apology. So you already know that you are wrong. Please apologize. You've made a mistake. Please come back and say, I am sorry. You made a promise and you could not keep to it. Something came up and you said, okay, I'll be with you at 10 a.m. and it's already 9:45 and it's obvious you cannot be there. Why not put a call or send an SMS to say, please, it's already, I don't think I'll be able to meet up with that time. Or if it was something that you could not even place a call across till 10, the person is still waiting and all that. When you are true, or when the person now comes, why not be the first to say, I am really sorry, instead of waiting for the person to like ask, so why did you not come? Is it not better you just apologize and say, okay, so sorry, I broke my promise, and see what happens. By the time you are able to do that, the person will be able to understand the reason why you were not able to keep to that promise. And finally, on this edition, we're going to be looking at vulnerability as another way of building trust in a relationship. So what is vulnerability? It simply means being naked and not ashamed. That in your down moments, you are able to be open to the person. You are able to let the person be part of your life. When you are vulnerable before somebody, the person feels like part of you. So when I just finished secondary school, I had lost my dad. I was admitted in the hospital. There was this friend of mine I had to invite over to spend and to stay with me and take care of me in the hospital. So she was with me in my down moments, saw my nakedness, how I was vomiting and all that and all that. Do you know? That strengthened our relationship. So it builds emotional connection and it makes the person feel part of your life. It makes the person feel, okay, if the person can be this open to me, or you have messed up and you are able to open up to the person and say, this is what I'm passing through, and you are not afraid that the person is going to take it against you, then the person also from the other end will be able to say, if the person is this open to me, then I can trust the person also with my secrets. If the person can tell me this part of her life that she had never told any person, then I can also trust the person with this part of my life. So vulnerability builds emotional connection and it builds trust in relationship. On this note, we shall be drawing the curtain on today's edition. Hey, have you subscribed to this channel? If not, please click the subscribe button, share the videos, in fact, turn on your notification button so that you can be aware when our next video is up. In our next edition, we shall be concluding the segment on building trust in relationship. And that will be bye from my end. See you next time.